The federal government has insisted that lecturers will not be paid for work not done in line with the no work, no pay policy. Minister of Education Malam Adamu said this while commenting on the process of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, over pro rata October salary payment. ASU, which embarked on strike in February, called it off in October following the intervention of Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, Speaker of the House of Representatives. However, the union members got half salaries at the end of October, a move which did not go down well with the lecturers. Today, State House reporters took up the minister after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Adamu said the position of the federal government was that the lecturers will not be paid for work not done. When told that the lecturers were threatening a one-day action to protest government's action, Adamu said he was not aware. The Senate has resolved to provide legislative support to the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, for the redesign of the 1,500 and 200 Naira notes. The upper chamber made this resolution after a heated debate on a motion moved by Senator Obasani on CBN's policy to redesign the 3 Naira notes. Majority of senators across party lines support the redesign of the Naira, but some of them are concerned about the deadline set by the Apex Bank for the old notes to be deposited in commercial banks. Lawmakers also question the impact of the redesign of the Naira note on the economy and if it will help reduce the inflation rate and the dwindling value of the Naira. They want the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele to provide further clarification on these issues, and also worried about the effect of this policy on those in the rural areas and the unbanked. The Senate consequently mandated its Committee on Banking to embark on aggressive oversight to ensure the Nigerians are protected during this exercise. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has postponed the resumption of plenary to Tuesday, November 22nd, to allow for the fumigation of the Green Chamber. The Clerk of the House, Dr. Yahya Anzaria, announced the postponement in a statement today in Abuja. The clerk urged members of the House and the general public to disregard the earlier resumption date of Thursday, November 17, announced at the adjournment of Tuesday's plenary. On sports, President of the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, Ibrahim Musa Gusau, yesterday visited former Nigerian captain Henry Nwosu at the Federal Medical Center, Asaba, where the legend has been receiving treatment for an undisclosed ailment for some weeks now. Muhammad Abdulkarim has details of this and other sports updates.
Henry Nwosu, the youngest player in the Nigerian squad that won the Africa Cup of Nations on home soil in 1980, had been in the hospital for some time now, with top politicians, captains of the industry, and football chieftains all showing interest in his health status. Nwosu, a formidable force in the senior men national team of Nigeria in the 1980s, played in 3 Africa Cup of Nations finals in 1980, 1984, and 1988, and was one of the best players of the 1984 and 1988 editions, both of which Nigeria lost to Cameroon in the final. In another update, Super Eagles head coach Jose Santos Pasero had the full complement of invited players as 3-time African champions Nigeria just set for what could be a fiery international friendly with Portugal in Lisbon tomorrow. The players now in camp are goalkeepers Francis Uzoho, Maduka Okoye, and Adebayo Adele. Defenders William Ekon, Chidozie Awaziam, Kevin Akogbuma, Calvin Vasi, Tyrone Ivohi, Bruno Nyemachi, Bright Osai Samuel, and Ebube Duru, as well as midfielders Wilfred Ndidi, Ogenekaro Itebo, Frank Onyeka, Alice Uobi, and Joseph Aribo. The forward in the camp are Moses Simon, Cyril Dezes, Teram Murphy, Paulo Nuachu, Emmanuel Dennis, and Ademola Lukman. Meanwhile, former Nigerian international Michael Essien has been appointed as new head coach of the United States of America under-16 men's team. Essien was last in charge of USL Championship club FC Tulsa. The 41-year-old represented Nigeria at the under-23 level. And on tennis, Rafael Nadal's hope of a first ATP Finals title are over after he was knocked out of the tournament in the group stage. He was beaten 6-3, 6-4 by Felix Auger-Aliassime after an opening round loss to American Tyler Fritz in Turin. Abdulkarim Muhammad Abdulkarim, Freedom Radio.
Global News is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com, or call us through this number, 082444 Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The Kano State House of Assembly has passed Kano State Persons with Disability Amendment Number 2 Law 2018 and Kano State Proposed Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2022 into law. A committee of the whole House session and third reading by the Clerk of the House, Alhaji Garba Bako Yezawa, during today's sitting, presided over by the Speaker, Engineer Hamisul Ibrahim Chidem. After the deliberations, the Speaker announced the development and seeked approval of the members.
The House agreed with third reading. By this, a law to provide for Kano State Supplementary Appropriation Law 2022-1444H to the tune of 55,774,232.99 naira and for other matters connected therewith is hereby passed. The House agreed with third reading. By this, a bill for a law to make provisions for the amendment of the Kano State Person with Disability Law 2018-1439 and for other matters connected therewith is hereby passed.
Meanwhile, the House has also received and adopted a report of the Joint Committee on Appropriation and Local Government on the amendment of 44 local government estimates for this year, presented by the Chairman, House Standing Committee on Appropriation, Alhaji Abba Ibrahim Gargu. Correspondent Awal Hassan Fagir reports that the House adjourned its sitting till 19 December due to budget defense. The Rule of Law and Accountability Advocacy Center, RULAC, urged Nigerians, particularly civil society organizations, to focus more on the new Police Act 2020 towards improving the policing system. Muhammad Sani Uba reports.
RULAC Executive Director, Mr. Okechukwu Nyanguma, disclosed this today in Kano during the inauguration of the civil society organization to promote accountability and effective policing of Nigeria. According to him, the newly inaugurated body will play an observatory role on the implementation of the Police Act 2020, Police Trust Fund Act 2019, and the capacity building. RULAC is a member of a consortium implementing different activities under a police reform project. The project, with the Clean Foundation as the consortium lead, is supported by MacArthur Foundation. Nwanguma said the best way to the country's democracy was to ensure and to promote a better policing system.
Police is the face of in any democratic society. If you want to know how democratic any society is, it is by looking out to see how respectful the police is of human rights, how accountable they are. And when police is not democratic, it becomes a threat to democracy.
One of the speakers, Faith Nwadishi, Executive Director, Center for Transparency Advocacy, has advocated better welfare package for the personnel of the Nigeria Police Force to motivate them for quality service delivery.
Welfare is at the center of efficiency. If somebody that is not happy, you don't expect the person to give you efficient service. And welfare is not just about giving money. Welfare is also looking at the psychosocial environment, giving that kind of support, giving them encouragement, incentives to do better.
Speaking in the same vein, Dr. Murtala Muhammad of Kano University of Science and Technology, Wudil, stressed the need for adequate training of Nigeria police officers for effective and efficient service delivery.
Of course, Nigerian police need a lot of training. Some of the training should be physical, and some of the training may be emotional intelligence training. Some of the training may be psychological training. They need to be made to act more friendly, and that is why usually there is this phrase, police is your friend. So let's make our policemen more friendly to us and more democratic.
The event was attended by the representative of the police, representative of the State Attorney General, representative of the National Human Rights Commission, media and some civil society organizations across the Northwest. Muhammad Sani Uba, Freedom Radio.
And on business, Abdurrahman Ado Baba has updates.
President Muhammadu Buhari today announced the approval of 134.7 billion for the payment of the Security Development Allowance SDS to all veterans. The President spoke at the launch of the 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem and their field found in the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa in Abuja. He also announced the donation of 10 million to the Nigerian legend on behalf of the federal government. President Buhari promised the federal government's commitment to the welfare of veterans by ensuring prompt payment of their pension and other entitlements, which had been demonstrated by the approval of the payment of SDE to veterans with effect from 2017. He called on the businesses, enterprises to appreciate the sacrifice of the servicemen and the gallant troops by intending support to them in form of discount and the rebates often purchased and the services rendered, saying this will act as a moral booster to members of the armed forces and assist them to carrying out their statutory responsibilities. Abdurrahman Adu Baba, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, there has been no official reaction from Mali to reports that neighboring Ivory Coast will begin a gradual withdrawal of its troops serving in the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Mali, MINUSMA. Ismail Suleiman Sani reports.
The Ivorian authorities have yet to publicly confirm the news, but local media says the United Nations was informed of the decision through official correspondence. The announcement comes after some 49 Ivorian soldiers were arrested in Mali in July, accused of being mercenaries. The news also comes a day after the United Kingdom announced that it was pulling out its 300-strong contingent from peacekeeping posts. Meanwhile, Kuwait has carried out its first execution in 5 years, hanging 7 people, including 2 women, despite pleas for clemency from international rights campaigners. According to the Public Execution Service, those put to death are a woman from Ethiopia and another from Kuwait, a Syrian and a Pakistani man, and 3 Kuwaiti men. Kuwait has executed nearly 80 people since the 1960s, mostly on murder or drugs cases. Amnesty International has urged the Gulf country to impose a moratorium on executions. Ismail Suleiman Sani, Freedom Radio.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's Global News. But before we leave, highlights of our top stories. The federal government has insisted that lecturers will not be paid for work not done in line with the no work, no pay policy. The Senate has resolved to provide legislative support to the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, for the redesign of the 1,500 and 200 Naira notes. The Kano State House of Assembly has passed Kano State Persons with Disability Amendment No. 2 Law 2018 and Kano State Proposed Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2022 into law. And on the foreign scene, there has been no official reaction from Mali to reports that neighboring Ivory Coast will begin a gradual withdrawal of its troops serving in the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Mali. On behalf of the entire production team and I, Zahra Zannah, thank you for listening.